Hello, and welcome to another edition of Water Wellness and the Importance that Water Has on Our Lives. Today, University of Maryland Extension Water Quality Specialist Dr. Andy Lazore is going to talk about being salt smart this winter. So Andy, I know winter is just around the corner, and so in preparation, I will see if I have an old container of salt in the garage, or I'll consider buying a new one for the season. So when you say being salt smart, what do you mean? Should I buy that bag of salt?
Sodium chloride or salt is the most common tool that we use currently to de-ice roads, sidewalks, driveways, parking lots, etc. And it does a really good job of helping to prevent, falls, slips, but also provides safer driving conditions. So having a bag of salt at home, makes good sense in preparation for when we have ice storms so that you can de-ice your sidewalks or driveways. What you want to do, though, is to be sure that you use it wisely and sparingly.
Okay, so why do we need to use it wisely?
Well, a couple things that are really important about salt. Salt, we use it every day in our cooking, whatever the case may be. But salt in the environment can cause several problems. First off, chloride in salt helps to prevent ice from sticking to, say, the pavement or the sidewalk. So we call it a de-icing salt. However, the chloride in salt readily washes away when we apply it to our sidewalks or roads, whatever, and it contaminates our surface and groundwaters. It can also cause corrosion of cars. You probably noticed that rusty spot near your fender, whatever the case may be, but it damages road infrastructure. And particularly if we're on a well and we pump that water up and it's in the groundwater, that chloride in the well water can actually corrode our appliances, such as our water heater, dishwasher, and our plumbing fixtures. But even more important is that corrosive water can actually leach out toxic metals such as lead and copper from these plumbing fixtures. So that is a dangerous situation. But it also, in the environment, that chloride also picks up metals and washes it from our surface area, and actually it mobilizes or it just moves very easily into our groundwater. So we are not only contaminating our groundwater with chloride, making it saltier, but we could be adding some toxic metals. So the other thing about salt, of course, is if you're on a low sodium diet, that extra sodium in your drinking water can add up, and that can cause problems.
Wow, Andy, this is so important. I had no idea about the environmental or human health risks. How can we use salt more wisely?
So the word I used earlier was sparingly. So we need to use a little bit. A little bit of it goes a long way. So for example, when you apply salt crystals, you only want those granules to be about 1 to 2 inches apart. So a cup of salt can actually properly de-ice about 10 squares of sidewalk. So again, a little bit goes a long way. And then the other thing that you need to know is that salt is only good for when ice is there. It's not going to do anything to snow. So as a snowstorm continues, you want to be sure that you're shoveling your driveway or your sidewalks periodically. Don't let that snow build up, because there's no sense of using salt at that point. And then the other thing that you can do to use less salt is, after the storm, whatever remaining salt is out there on your sidewalk, sweep it up and use it for the next storm. So if you live in a community where they are perhaps de-icing your parking lot or whatever the case may be, you can ask those applicators to be sure that they're following practices. And there's a lot of training going on nationally to help people understand how to use salt properly for roads and parking lots and such. But one of the new tools that we're using a lot on our roads is brine. So it's a pre-mixed salt and water concentration, and they spray it out on the roads rather than the broadcasters that throw those granules of salt out. So that brine solution helps to use less salt. And so there are now brine machines that are used not only for the roads, but also for parking lots. And so, again, maybe contacting your HOA or whoever, your office, and encourage them to use brine instead of the granules can go a long way. So this is something that we can all do, and it will definitely have an impact and reduce the effect or the impacts on our water quality.
Thank you, Andy, so much. You're always so informative. If you'd like more information on water quality, septics, wells, groundwater, or ponds, please check out our state water quality specialist, Andrew Lazor's YouTube channel for videos and podcasts. That's Water Quality, University of Maryland Extension. His website, you can Google UME Wells and Septics, or his Facebook page, University of Maryland Water Quality. And also, please register through our website for our next Wednesday Water webinar on December 18th, where Andy will discuss being salt smart this winter. Thank you all for tuning in.